talking about the tales that never tire. Ghosts and ghouls up in the trees, whispering secrets on the breeze. Down in the holler where shadows hide, lights flicker where the spirits glide. They swear they saw Jim, now gone, walking around with his boots still on. Unseen things in the Appalachian night, haunted fields where the moon don't lie. Cryptids howl and the stories flow. Gin and cocoa, they surely know.
Hello, happy Thursday.
Hi.
We are the Appalachian Ghost Girls, and we're here to talk about ghost stuff. So,
Yes, we are. Like we always do.
yes. Tonight's podcast episode is going to be about West Virginia Penitentiary and
and all
the
of
ghost
its-
stories there. We've talked about the penitentiary before. We've visited there. I've investigated there overnight a couple times.
I have not.
It's definitely an active place. You'll have to go one of these days. Definitely an active place. I enjoy it. Very beautiful, like Gothic style building.
Yeah, I
That's
love
the
the
thing.
grounds. The building is
When you pull
gorgeous.
up, it's just like the entryway is so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's funny though, because I don't know, for some of you guys that are like more our age, elder millennials, or older, there used to be a show called Fear on MTV. And I think the first episode was actually filmed at West Virginia Penitentiary, and they made it seem like on there that like they were in the middle of the woods. But if you actually go to Moundsville and West Virginia Penitentiary,
Yeah.
like
You're in the middle of
a town.
Yeah.
So yeah. But very cool. I don't know. Do you have anything
But
you want to
it's-
share before we get into that?
Before we get into all the ghostly inhabitants of
West
No.
Virginia Penitentiary?
No, I'm just hoping to like see them one day.
Yeah. I
See,
haven't had
I've gone on like tour. I've been there for like haunted house, but I've never done an investigation there yet.
I'm trying to
I
think
need
of
to.
like what experiences. I was there in June with a bunch of people for a private investigation, and I think I wandered. I've gotten really ballsy over the years. I wandered into the north, I think it's North Block, where Red Snyder's cell is, by myself. And then I just hung out in his cell for probably about, I don't know, 45 minutes or so, playing some music. And
You had like he came to you, right?
well, I've had like, anytime I go in there, sometimes I don't want to be bothered, but like
Yeah.
he came through and said a few things through the spirit box. He's really good like at, like I've had several K2s set up, and he'd like go back and forth, like setting them off. But you know, when you talk about like the crimes that he committed, he doesn't seem to really like that. So
He doesn't
but
want to be reminded of all
No,
his.
no. I'm trying to think of anything else. I've never had anything happen in the Sugar Shack. Like everybody talks about the Sugar Shack.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
There's a
sure
lot of
people have had
activity there.
experiences. I just never
Yeah.
have had any activity there. But up where the like sanitarium area or whatever of it is, I did have something touch me. Came out of like one of these isolation chambers,
Yeah.
and I gave it permission to touch me because we were talking to a psychic at the time, and she said that this individual was a male and he wanted to be able to show me that he was there. So I said, okay, I give you permission, just as long as you don't do anything like hurtful or whatever to me.
Yeah.
And like it felt like static electricity was like going up my neck. It was really cool. But he like walked around with us all night pretty much, and was trying to keep us safe from like the big and bad, because there's a lot of big and bad. Checking out the
cool.
comments. Dawn, hey girl. Hi Mike. Jeffrey.
Mike.
Yeah, these Ouija boards, I lucked out because I never find them at antique shops, but I think within a month I found these two. And this one, I think is from the 1800s. That one's really cool. And then this one was one of those the ones with the blue phantom on the front of the box. I guess that would be 1960s or 70s. You're like the Ouija expert, so maybe you know better than I do. But yeah,
Is he the one that makes the Ouija?
He has a whole Ouija board like trailer, like a I don't know, maybe you can explain in the comments, but he'll like take his traveling Ouija board collection to all these conventions, and it's massive.
Goose was saying, because we were talking about whenever we were at Bill, and he was like, you got to check him out whenever you're at Parapsychon, probably, or where was?
I don't think he'll be at Parapsychon. You're going to be at Gettysburg. He'll probably be at Gettysburg.
That's okay. Yeah, that's what we were talking about.
Definitely want to check that out.
Yeah, I will.
Good evening, Annie.
Hello.
So let's get into it.
Yeah.
As usual, I have ADHD for real.
Oh, that's so funny because that's the same page I pulled up.
Yes.
But since you already brought up Red Snyder, we should just talk about him a little bit because he's like one of the most notorious inmate there, but also one of the most infamous ghosts there.
Yeah.
That, a lot of people have experienced that have,
Yeah, he's I don't have it pulled up in front of me, but I don't want to mess up the facts, but
I got the facts right here, babe.
There we go. Okay, so you tell me if I'm wrong when I'm talking about it. So I know that I believe he killed his father.
Yes.
And then he killed somebody else's father.
So
the neighbor, because it was over his sister.
The sister's boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he intended to kill the boyfriend.
Yes, but he
went to the house and the dad was like, nah, you're not going to kill my son. So he was like, killed his own dad before leaving the house because he was trying to stop him. Yeah. And he was just kind of taking out everybody.
I'm wondering why, what happened. Shut up, Goobs. For anybody listening on Spotify later.
Oh, his ears must have been burning.
I know.
Literally just said your name.
Whenever we talk to random people, if you're listening on Spotify, it's because we are on StreamYard, so we have people that comment because this is live right now. So that's why it's not like squirrel because it's something I was just like, hey.
We are like that too.
No, I already forgot what I was talking about. Like seriously. Yeah, okay, back. Okay, bring it back. So I wonder what happened. What caused that? Like, why
was he so upset about
the boyfriend? Yeah. Did the boyfriend do something to his sister? Like, what was the cause? I'd love to hear the background story of that. Obviously,
did he just not want somebody dating his little sister?
Maybe.
Was there something more?
But why did he kill his dad?
Sinister? I think. I mean, he had a long history of violence.
Yeah.
I forget where it started.
But then when he got to the prison, he was like
he was just continued his like murderous streak.
But he also liked to watch Days of Our Lives, I believe.
That's why I love him because we have the same favorite. Why does it do that? We have the same favorite soap opera.
Yeah, and he kind of kept to himself a lot of times. He was he became the leader of the Aryan Brotherhood, and which is not good. But
led the biggest riot in jail history or in American history.
But a lot of times in prisons, it seems like they segregate by race. So if you were
back then,
Caucasian, you'd be with the Caucasians, and African American, you'd be with them. And whatever. And so he was with the skinheads, with the Aryan Brotherhood, and
one.
So what else do you have about him? Take a sip of your drink first. What's your whistle?
I was like doing that with a bird this morning, like it was doing its call. So then we went back and forth for like a solid minute.
That's nice.
Me and my bird friends.
You need to get
a life. A boyfriend. I need something
She's
to
looking
do
for
in
a
life.
Spooky boyfriend.
Yes, that's right.
All right, so tell us some facts
my
about
DMs
Red
are
Snyder.
open. Actually, they're not because
I'm like,
set my page to private.
Because as soon as like you message her, she'll be like, "What the fuck do you want?
Fuck off! I don't want no man."
All right, tell us about Red Snyder.
Red thrived in prison.
Yeah.
thrived. Like that was his shit.
Yeah.
He
what he
like
wanted-
I said, he led like the biggest prison riot.
He grew up and
Of
was
all
like,
time.
man, as a little boy, I can't wait to be a prisoner.
Yeah, literally, because I swear to God, I wrote it down somewhere. He was arrested in 1965 and served 32 months for something.
Yeah. Got out and then went back in.
I think it was arson.
Okay. Okay.
Now, I don't remember correctly because my brain's like mashed potatoes, but I do believe it was from arson. So like, and he was 19. So yes, he started very young.
Yeah.
And then whenever he got out of prison, literally like, what was it? It was literally within a couple months of him being released from prison is whenever he did the shooting of the people, went back to prison. Pretty sure he killed more than 2 people.
In prison?
I can't even read.
In prison, he killed more than 2 people?
I don't remember.
Good.
I can't read my own notes. So how about that?
Oh my God. So the prison was opened in 1876. They called it the dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a dungeon. They have a haunted house, and I think they call the haunted house the dungeon. Really cool. Got to ride inside of a casket.
Yeah.
But I have an article here because, like I said, I have ADHD. So the West Virginia State Penitentiary is also known as Moundsville. You might hear it called that. I can't talk. Oh,
That's hot.
So it's a Gothic style prison that remained in operation until February of 1995. The Love Boat. During its nearly 120 years as an active penitentiary, I talk with my hands because I'm Italian. It was an active penitentiary, earned itself a reputation as one of America's toughest prisons. It was known for its overcrowding, brutal conditions. People got tortured. They were abused by guards and inmates.
It's a fucked up place.
Moundsville Penitentiary holds a significant place in American history due to its role in rehabilitation programs for prisoners during a much-needed reform movement in the turn of the century. The Gothic-style prison also served as a site for many significant events in West Virginia's history, including the largest prison riot in U.S. history, with over 1,000 prisoners involved, which took place on New Year's Day in 1986.
Which is like half of the prison. Because the prison was built to have like 1,000 prisoners.
Yeah.
It regularly had about double that.
Yeah. And I mean, these cells.
Half of them involved.
They were small. Those cells were small.
Yeah. Could you imagine?
Yeah.
What the?
Oh no, I can't imagine. But like, yeah.
That's
and there's like,
awful.
I know you're like, Goose was talking about the cafeteria. Well, you had the cafeteria in the north block, or well, I don't know what's called, north block, where Red was, like down there, and like I think it was going out that way, and a lot of shit went down there. A lot of people got killed. But then in the main, like eating area, like I almost said eating and feeding area.
Feeding area.
I heard that there was somebody that was killed and stuffed in a pot.
And like cooked?
I don't know if they were cooked, but
just stuffed.
Maybe. But like I've heard so many stories, and it's hard to be able to tell like really what's real and not.
Yeah.
This one guy in particular, I think it was West Virginia's first serial killer was also housed there. It was that because I saw this guy's picture and I'm like, oh yeah, I did a TikTok on him before. So throughout its operation from 1876 to 1995, the penitentiary housed some of America's most notorious criminals. Some notable inmates include Charles Manson's family members. Harry Powers is the serial killer. Harry Powers, who killed 2 widows and 3 children in his murder castle. He was
like his family.
Yeah, he married women and then had their kids. He was trying to take their money. He was like one of West Virginia's first serial killers. And going back to Charles Manson, I guess back in the day, they used to house women there as well as men. And there's actually a letter inside there on the wall that was from Charles Manson. Whenever he was in prison, I believe he was asking the warden if he could be transferred there to be closer to his mom.
Aw, that's sweet.
I guess. Oh, Charles Manson.
He loved his mommy.
A member of Bonnie and Clyde's gang, Carl Panzeram, who murdered 22 people, was there.
Wow.
Danny Heater, who holds a high school basketball scoring record by scoring 135 points in one game, was there.
Fuck does that have to do with anything?
Otho Brown, who murdered his cellmate while serving time for murder, was also there. The prison also witnessed some horrific events that have become part of popular culture, like Black Friday, which occurred on January 17th, 1936, when 7 inmates were executed via electrocution in one day, something that had not been done before.
That's wild.
Yeah. Coming back to Red, though, he was murdered.
Yeah.
So
by his cellmate.
Well, and they were single cells.
But they were. Yeah.
There was like, I think, 3 cells. The worst.
They were in like
the worst of the worst. The bad of the bad were in these 3 cells.
Yeah.
And Red was in there, and like the one day I think like it opened, like the doors opened because they only got like an hour of rec time a day.
Yeah, but I think they were like routinely allowed to like hang out
with each other. Yeah. And so he got stabbed. He like the doors open and he came in and he stabbed him 20?
I think like 37 times.
Yeah, 37 times.
That's insane.
Yeah. And so when I'm sitting in that I almost said stall, in that cell, and I'm thinking about like, I mean, it's like old and gross and crusty, but I'm thinking about all the blood.
Yeah.
That must have been all over that cell.
Yeah.
That I'm
spraying
sitting
everywhere.
Yeah, and just his like dead body laying there. And it makes me feel very close to him.
Yeah.
I feel very close to you, Red.
He's all around.
Yes. So throughout its history, Moundsville Penitentiary has undergone many changes when it comes to policies and conditions. In the early years, corporal punishment was common practice, which included whippings, the ball and chain, and even water torture. Inmates were forced to do hard labor, which included working in mines and quarries. As time passed, things started changing and the conditions improved. During the 1930s, the prison implemented educational programs that enabled inmates to earn college degrees. Which is cool, I guess. It depends what you're in there for. If
for free, why aren't we getting?
I know. Well,
everybody else getting college.
I mean, that's like healthcare. Like some people are like gonna get arrested, so I can
literally just go to prison so you can get a free education and free healthcare. That's the
This is America. Several programs aimed at rehabilitation, and they were also introduced, which included drug treatment programs, counseling, and vocational training. Good counseling. Everybody.
You know what's crazy?
Huh?
Gypsy Rose was denied therapy in jail.
Why? She needed therapy.
Yeah, she asked like
she still
for
needs
therapy in jail, and she was denied.
Crazy.
Every single inmate should be required.
Yeah, I agree.
Therapy.
I agree.
I think every person in the world should be required to have therapy.
Despite these efforts to improve conditions within the prison, overcrowding continued to be a problem throughout its operation. Any of these places, you think about Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, it was made to be this particular way, and it was supposed to be this, I don't want to say a retreat, but it was just supposed to be this place of healing and all that, and then eventually it got so overcrowded. Once it gets overcrowded, one, that's not good conditions for the people staying there, and then the staff is overloaded, burnt out. And that'll break somebody.
Everything
that'll break somebody that's already prone to violence or whatever, and like something like that happens, and then they're abusing patients, and it's just it's not a good situation. So by 1986, there were over 2,000 inmates living in the facility. That was only meant for 1,000. Overall, Moundsville Penitentiary has an intriguing history filled with notable figures and events that have shaped popular culture. It's been dubbed one of America's most haunted places by Ghost Stories of West Virginia Penitentiary tours led by the former guards, which I wish that Tina was on here, Phil's girlfriend, who has worked at West Virginia Penitentiary, and she tells a lot of great stories. But I can't remember the guard's name. If she was on, she would tell me what it is. But there was a guard there, female, she's a little bit older, and she told me about how she went past Red's cell. This is after Red's passed away, after the prison has been closed for however many years, giving tours. I think it was in the morning time when they were opening up the place. She walked through, like turned lights on, whatever, walked through, past the cell. Red said to her, remember, Red's dead. Red said to her, morning, say her name was Pam. I don't remember what her name is. Morning, Pam. And she said, morning, Red. And she just like stopped in her tracks.
Oh my God.
Because
I gave me
that's
the
something
chills.
they always did that. That was whenever he was alive and she was a
Yeah.
guard. That's how they always talked to each other. So yeah,
Whew.
that's
That's crazy.
yeah. I probably would have pooped my pants.
Yeah, I probably would have too.
So yeah, it's got a lot of hauntings. I know there's that one picture that you see up there, and I think they sell prints and posters of it of the Shadow Man.
The Shadow Man, yeah.
In that one hallway.
He's like the most popular scene.
Yeah.
Ghost there.
I don't know who he's supposed to be though.
Yeah.
The reports of paranormal activity at Moundsville are abundant. Many former inmates and guards have reported seeing apparitions, hearing strange noises, and feeling cold spots throughout the prison. One former inmate even claimed to have been pushed down a flight of stairs by an unseen force.
Oh, shit.
Yes, Maggie. Thank you. It's Maggie. I couldn't think of her freaking name. Maggie.
Oh,
She's the guard.
Okay.
Thank you. Others are reported seeing full body apparitions or feeling as though they have been watched or followed. One guard who worked there for 17 years said that he would often hear footsteps in empty corridors. Speaking about being followed, not West Virginia Penitentiary, but Ohio State Reformatory. I was there last year. We were filming some stuff for whenever I was with the other team for Parapsychon. Okay, anyway.
Parapsychon.
Okay.
Sorry.
Anyways, I was very obviously being followed by something at OSR. But I was like, that's fine because it wasn't hurting me. So I'm like, walk with me. It's fine. But then I went up to this one area and my ex-husband and another old teammate was sitting there. And they thought that my friend Lauren was following me and I was by myself. So they saw something following behind me.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So
that's wild.
That was crazy. So I believe like these things will follow you around.
Yeah.
Paranormal experts from all over the world have come to investigate Moundsville. Use all the different equipment. Others have attempted to communicate with spirits through seances or other methods. The most famous investigation was conducted by my favorite, Zach Bagans, from Ghost Adventures, who captured several pieces of evidence, including photos showing unexplained light anomalies and a figure standing in the shadows. Theories on why the penitentiary is haunted. And there's a picture of the mound across the street because there's a Native American burial mound like right across the street.
And that's part of the reason, I think, why
anytime you got that going on. Yeah.
And why energies stick around the way that they do.
Yeah.
Some
believe that the spirits are there and they're former inmates who died while incarcerated, possibly due to violence or disease. Others speculate that it may be because of the land it was built on. I think a lot of times that brings, paranormal activity. Lake Shawnee, you haven't been there, but that's an example. They found bones there. It's Native American. Burial ground. I've had a lot of crazy experiences in the 2 times that I went there. It's also suggested that the harsh conditions and treatment of prisoners may have created negative energy that still lingers in the prison. And I believe in the negative energy. I believe in the negative energy, and I believe that even if it's not a quote spirit of a former thing, violence can create energy.
Absolutely.
Violence can create this haunting, even if it's not an intelligent spirit, but it's just the energy that's there.
Yeah.
That can be, and for all the things that happen there. Yeah, it's going to create that. Despite its haunting reputation, Moundsville Penitentiary has become a popular tourist attraction. And obviously, all of us that are watching this, we're all freaks and we love that stuff. So yeah, you can explore the place. The Shadow Man. Let's talk about him. One of the most well-known ghosts of Moundsville Penitentiary is the Shadow Man. He has been seen by countless visitors and paranormal investigators. He was described as a tall, dark figure with glowing eyes. It's believed that he is the spirit of a former inmate who died in his cell. According to the tour guides, many people have reported seeing the Shadow Man lurking in the shadows and watching them from behind prison bars. Some have even claimed to feel his icy breath on their necks and seeing him moving through solid objects. There you go. There's a boyfriend for you.
Yeah. Hit me up, Shadow Man.
One particularly eerie encounter with the Shadow Man occurred during an investigation. Investigators were exploring one of the cell blocks. They saw what appeared to be a shadowy figure dart across an empty corridor. When they went to investigate further, they found no evidence of anyone being there. Despite its unsettling presence, many visitors continue to seek out the sightings. of the Shadow Man.
Mm.
There's also a lady in white.
I read about her. She was like one of the few females that was housed at Moundsville for what allegedly killing her child.
That's horrible.
Which who knows if that was true, because I feel like back then they were probably just like, if said a woman committed a crime,
yeah, that was like
did
Trans-Allegheny. Like, you could literally, your husband could get you like locked up for anything.
Yeah.
And then
for hysteria.
And
no,
then,
you just don't know.
And you could not get out unless your husband came and signed you out. So if your husband just wanted to get rid of you,
he's gonna be like, here, take my crazy wife.
Yeah. I have a
like, yes, sir.
Comment from Mike. Is this the same type of place as the one in Weston?
Just
No, Weston's an asylum. So that's where they housed back then anybody. Crazy people. They'd house women that didn't agree to do, because women didn't have a lot of rights back then. People that were intellectually disabled would be housed there. There's
anybody that wasn't.
We can talk about Trans-Allegheny on another episode, because I've investigated that place too, and that's a whole nother beast. But like, there's a horrible murder that took place of an intellectually disabled man. It's a bedpost murder room. If you can, I'll tell you after. We'll talk about some other time. But it was horrible because they put this poor guy with disabilities in a room with bad people, and something bad ended up happening to him.
That makes me sad.
So yeah, the lady in white, she's often seen wearing a long white gown and wandering aimlessly through various parts of the prison. The lady is believed to be the ghost of a woman who was brought to Moundsville after being accused of murdering her own child. She was reportedly sentenced to life imprisonment, but died under mysterious circumstances soon after arriving at the penitentiary. Yeah. Mysterious.
Very sus.
I'll be honest, if I was in prison and a woman came in and she murdered her child, I might have to have a few words with her.
Yeah, well, inmates are like notorious for like not for doing the bad things to the
people that hurt kids.
Yeah.
Many people claim they've seen the lady in white walking down hallways or standing silently near prison windows. Some have even claimed to hear her crying or whispering to herself. While the true identity and tragic story of the lady in white remains a mystery, her ghostly presence continues to captivate visitors and paranormal enthusiasts alike. There's also the faceless man. Yeah. He's one of the most disturbing ghosts. He's known as the Faceless Man, and as his name suggests, he is a ghostly figure with no discernible facial features, making him all the more terrifying. Notorious inmates of the Moundsville Penitentiary state that the Faceless Man is believed to be the spirit of an inmate who was brutally beaten to death by other prisoners in one of the prison cell blocks. His lack of facial features is a manifestation of his tragic demise, because he was, beat to death. Many visitors have reported seeing this man peering out from prison cells or watching them from dark corners. Again, cold breath. Yeah. They feel the breath. Whatever. It's all, I don't buy into every ghost story. Do I believe that the place is haunted? Yes.
Yeah.
But there's always a woman in white.
In like every haunted place, there is a woman in white. I can't tell you how many times I read that.
So, yeah, definitely go there though.
Yeah, it definitely
if you get a chance.
Is haunted. It definitely has a lot of energy there.
Like, I haven't even touched onto a lot of it, because we try to keep these episodes a little bit shorter now.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the Sugar Shack. Like I said, I've never had any experiences down there, but a lot of people have. And
isn't that where they sent like
they would let them go down there? The guards and stuff wouldn't go down there because you could get possibly murdered. So whatever happened down there happened down there.
Yeah,
and sometimes the inmates, or if somebody got murdered down there, they would just put the body on the steps so they could drag him out. But then also the Sugar Shack is because people wanted a little sugar down there. And people went
down there to get some lovin'.
Graped.
Sweet,
as you said.
Sweet lovin'.
Yeah.
He said, I heard they think the Shadow Man is R.D. Wall.
Okay. Yeah. I'd like to see the Shadow Man if I can. That'd be cool.
I'm surprised you haven't.
I'll be honest, like in all the ghost hunts that I've ever done, I think I've only seen like an actual like figure like maybe twice.
Yeah.
And like once was like a long time ago, and then once was a year and a half ago at the Octagon House in Circleville, Ohio. There was a girl at the top of the steps. She peered down from because it's set like it's an octagon.
Yeah.
First she peered down, but then when I looked up, there was like lights from the road that like shined in the windows, and it like shined on her, and she scattered. And I was like, I yelled like, "Holy fuck!" And like I remember like Sean was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" Because I scared everybody. Because I mean, I was just so startled, and I was like, but then I was like, "I'm sorry, like I wasn't trying to like scare you or whatever." But like, it's startling when you're looking in like the pitch black, and then all of a sudden you see a figure. Like I'm sorry, like I get startled real easy. Yeah. I
piss myself for sure. But I've been seeing a lot of shadow figures lately.
Well, your house is haunted.
My house is haunted, but I mean, I've seen shadow. Where were we? I can't remember all these house names. At the Haymond,
yeah, in West Virginia,
and at Wildwood.
Yeah, we were just at
a lot
Wildwood.
of people saw the shadows at Wildwood.
Yeah,
they were playing in the basement in that mirror.
I'm interested to see how you're gonna. We have the Girls and Ghouls weekends, and we have one more ticket for Hinsdale, just FYI. But we go to Hinsdale in like, I don't know,
3 weeks, a month.
In a month. And it's the Saturday before Easter. So it'll be Easter on the Sunday morning.
Yeah.
But like that place is like,
yeah,
like
that's gonna be interesting.
They've like a priest performed an exorcism on the house.
Wow.
And its stuff is still there.
Yeah.
And then there's like up in the woods, there's like a lot of like native type things. There's a giving tree. Like sometimes I think the outside's creepier than the inside. But I'm wondering how you're gonna enjoy that.
Yeah.
I like it though. This will be my third time that I've been there. But yeah. Oh, give me that lantern. I want to show you my newest piece of paranormal equipment. Hello.
Oh, I forgot you got this.
I got this at Wildwood. This is very cool. It's called the Ghost Lantern Junior Pro. Is it on? Oh, my bad. There it goes. So, like, it looks like an old... Oh, this is obnoxious. I'm not turning this on. So, like, a little lantern or whatever. It's cute.
Really cute.
Very cute.
And you got this whenever we were at Wildwood.
Yes. Yeah. They... I can't even remember who makes it. But they supply Wildwood. Like, it's sold in the Wildwood store. So, if you want one, you can message Brooke from Wildwood.
And there was bigger sizes. They had a couple different kinds.
A real big one.
Real big one. I like them real big. Makes me want a hot dog real
bad. Look at our new ghost light. Ah, there she is. Oh my God, there's a ghost.
You missed it. We needed your expertise earlier.
Yeah, I couldn't remember Maggie's name, but then somebody let me know. So thank you. Shout out. We were talking about the Sugar Shack. I have a TikTok video of Tina talking about the Sugar Shack. This was before she was even dating Phil. This is before I really knew her.
The day.
Yeah, she was the best tour guide ever. And she has all kinds of stories.
We're gonna come back and maybe we can like have a public or just go on our own.
Oh yeah, I'll go on my own. That's how like I'm gonna do with Trans Allegheny. Like I don't want to pay the whatever $2,000 to rent the place, which we've done before, like a bunch of people.
Yeah.
But they have Publix, and the place is so massive. It's like $100 a person, which for that place it's worth it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to do that, and like
I need to do that.
I don't know if they do that at Moundsville, but Moundsville's not too bad. Like if you got enough people to go and you make your deposit and then you pay the rest.
How much is it there?
I can't remember. I'll have to pull up my records. But yeah. So that's about all I have. We're working on our candles.
Yeah.
We don't have any over here right now, but you should definitely buy some.
They got fun names.
I wish I had our t-shirt out. Our new t-shirt, but they're in the red bin.
Do you want me to...
Yeah, get one out real quick.
Right.
Hold on, guys.
I don't know how quick it'll be, but...
I know. I have so much stuff in my little room. Oh, or nunchucks.
Over there.
And a deer bone. Like, this is my life. Nunchucks and a deer jawbone. In my house. It's just, that's a normal day for me.
So is this it?
Yeah, so we got some t-shirts made.
Wait until you see this.
We will have
They
them at
are-
conventions, but we have a limited amount. But if you want one, let me know. They're $20.
Is it in the screen?
Yes, they're
Can
$20,
everybody see it?
but that includes shipping.
Look how cool they are. Jen makes all of our designs.
Yes. All right, get out of my fucking face. So yes, if you want one, send us a message. If not,
lots
hit
of
us up.
cool-
If not, whatever.
Yeah.
I made a really cool design of a Bigfoot, and it says Appalachian AF. So I think I'm gonna get those made onto shirts now too.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I think
I
those
like
will.
that.
Yeah, we got a lot of cool things.
You
Got
know,
a
I
lot
love
of
me
cool
some
things
Bigfoot.
with our names on them for the upcoming conventions that we do.
Yeah, we're gonna have lots of cool merch.
Yeah. So yeah,
Merch girl.
our next podcast is going to be on April 2nd, right before my surgery. If you follow me on Facebook, you'll know that I'm getting bariatric surgery. I'm very open about everything in my life. I am an open book.
I am not.
And so
Don't ask me shit.
so I'm getting the gastric sleeve surgery. I get a lot of responses of like, people are pretty cool for the most part. Some people be like, well, why are you doing that? Or like, you don't seem fat enough to do that.
She is.
I am.
Me.
I'm fat enough. No, my my doctor and I have decided that it's all good. So we're gonna do that on April 7th. And yeah, I'm excited to be healthier.
Yep.
And so when you see me this summer, there'll be a little bit
In
less
her
of me.
bikini.
I will not be in a bikini. But when you see me this summer, there'll be less of me. You can definitely tell me I look amazing.
Me too, because I'm gonna go on a diet because I said she can't be skinny and me be fat. So I need to lose like 20 pounds before she starts losing weight.
Yeah. So yeah. So yeah. April 2nd, did I say?
7th.
No, April 7th is my surgery. April 2nd, I think, is the next podcast.
Oh, I don't know.
2 weeks, 2 Thursday or
2 weeks from today.
Yes. And I think we'll probably talk about Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. Because that's...
Can we still say trans?
Yeah, it's not like we're talking about people that are trans.
I don't know, according to who. It's like changing all the words because
yeah, well, it's the name of the place.
I know.
Tala.
Being an ass.
Yeah, we'll talk about Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. So we will see you then.
Got to do my research. Yeah. Thanks for coming, guys.
Yeah.
Talking about West Virginia penitentiary ghosts with us.
Yes, and make sure to follow us. What the fuck?
What?
Make sure to
Did I
the whole? Yeah,
sorry.
Make sure to follow us on. We have YouTube. We really need our YouTube to grow. So follow us on YouTube, Appalachian Ghost Girls. Follow us on Instagram, Appalachian Ghost Girls. If you're here through my page, we have a Facebook page and a group, both under the same name. So follow us on those as well. Follow me on Instagram as well, Morticia Kardashian. You probably don't want people following you on yours.
Mine's private right now because of things.
Yeah, so you can request her. She'll decide. Auntie Coco, right?
Auntie
period
dot C0C0.
There you go. So yeah, and we'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Thanks for coming.
Bye. Do we
Bye.
want to play our song on
Yeah,
the way out?
play it.
Jan and Coco.
Jen and Coco sit by the fire, talking about the tales that never tire. Ghosts and ghouls up in the trees, whispering secrets on the breeze. Down in the holler where shadows hide, lights flicker where the spirits glide. They swear they saw Jim, now gone, walking around with his boots still on.